people. Today we're doing a set of 420 nails. I didn't do any last year, so felt like I needed to do them. We're going to do them on a medium length coffin, which I have prepared the tips already. And we're going in firstly with black gel polish, will be the base color. And we want to have nice thin coats so it does not wrinkle. Now this set took me about an hour and a half to do. There was a tiny little bit of experimenting that went on at one point, but once I figured that out, it was pretty quick after that. So we're just going to carry on getting these on here. It took me a little bit to figure out how to get the smoky effect to look like smoke, but not too bad. I think most skill levels should be able to handle this set because there really wasn't anything that difficult about it. They do look a lot better in person. They don't read quite as well on camera as they do in person, as usual, but okay, those are ready to cure, I think. Nope, something there I didn't like. Okay, into cure. Now we're on for the second coat. Same as the first. Those of you guys that are with me from and have seen my dragon nails video, I was having trouble getting the pigment onto the dragons. I figured out, I think, a better way to do it. And that is to mix that pigment in with some alcohol and just brush it all on there. The alcohol will evaporate, leaving me with the pigment on the dragon and without excess polish and stuff clogging up the grooves and making the detail not stand out so much. So there you have it. I don't want to go back and have to re-upload and do that whole thing with the video, so I'm just going to tell you this way. I don't know why I didn't think of that at the time, but, as I'm sitting there later on after I finished a set of nails and it's just like percolating in my head, I always come up with better ways to do stuff, which I don't know why I don't think of them at the time I'm trying to do them. But anyway, that's enough about that, and on we go. I'm going to be testing that out anyway because I have to recolor these just the tiniest bit around the edges and stuff where it's worn off before I go to the Ren Fair, which is next weekend, which frankly by the time you guys are seeing this video I will be at the Ren Fair. But anyway, we're moving on to the smoky bits now. I'm going to start off with white polish. My lines are far apart on here. Not how they really should be. I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes my brain just kind of goes out to lunch and leaves me wondering what in the heck is happening. Okay, that is base coat that I'm putting in between. We're going to do this basically the same as you would for a marble, except for I'm using a base coat instead of a second color. Now I should have done a second line of base coat around one of those outer edges, but I didn't on here. And I don't normally mix them like this for marble, but for this I decided to do it to give the base coat a chance to mix in. Also, I will be using the wispy looking ombre brush that I use sometimes, that really cheapo one. I thought for this, those little wispy bits would be a good deal. And we're also going to be doing blooming gel on here, on the nails. I tried this first, which is base coat, and I wasn't getting as much dispersal as I was hoping for the smoke. So I wiped that off, and now we're going in with the blooming gel instead. Now you don't need a whole lot of it. I know I've got an awful lot of it on there. We're going to try to wipe some off a little here. But the blooming gel did work really well, so problem solved for that. Well, see, there's a little bit of white left on there from where it got on my brush before. All right. I believe we're ready to go on with the smoky bits. Okay, I'm going to just scoop it up. And you can see up there too, I've also added more base to that up there. And we're just going to like put this on the same way we would if it was a marble. But I'm just going to make it, paint it out in like little wispy lines as I feel like smoke would look like. And I'm going to bring the bottom down a little bit more. Okay, and there we have some smoke. I'm going to let that sit so it can disperse a bit more, get a little wispier looking. Now I will be going over some parts of these again before I cure them because that thumbnail, the dispersal on that got to be a little too much near the top and all the little wispy parts kind of disappeared because it took me so long to get the blooming gel on the rest of these and then get the smoke on these, and then I'm going to go over and just touch up a couple of spots where you may see that I might need them. You'll see when we get that far. Okay, now we're just going to go in. I'm going to get the smoky bits on the rest of these. I'm just going to do them all in one go before I cure anything. Okay, so you can already see at the top of the thumbnail where a lot of those really thin bits that were at the top are starting to kind of disappear. I tried not to have these all look exactly the same, but yeah, they kind of sort of do. As you can see, this is in real time. Oh, now I got a chunky piece of something on there that's got to get off of there. This is in real time, so you can see how fast it goes. It really doesn't take that long. I don't know what in the world that was, but now that I've got it off of there, now we got to fix this because I got a big blob of stuff on the side now, and it didn't look so great. Okay, and we just have the pinky left. Sorry for the shaky camera, I must have bumped it. Either that or I'm bumping the desk with my legs. That's a possibility too. Okay, now see, I'm going to go back over these a little bit with just a little bit more stuff because that one, as I said, dispersed a little too much. Okay, and then I will look at any of the rest of these that look like they might need a little more. I will just add a little bit more in there. Just a little skosh on this one. Okay, then I'm going to set those aside and let that new stuff disperse a bit before I cure it. I will keep an eye on that while I'm working on the other rack, which you're not going to see because it'll be off camera. But in between maybe 30 seconds, definitely less than a minute, they'll be ready to be cured. When I'm happy with the way that they've dispersed, I will put them into cure. But in the meantime, I'm just going to let them sit there for a bit. But once they're done, we'll be moving on. And now we're ready to add the color. I'm going to be using this glaze gel. Jelly polishes, same thing basically. Or you can just take whatever color you want to use. You can mix it in with some base coat or top coat, either one. I would probably do base and just put it right on there. Now our smoke is now red on this one, or at least semi-red. Now I didn't want to have to go in and do 2 coats of this, so I'm kind of going over it a little bit more heavily. So I will have my color. Okay, and now we have red smoke. think there was a hair on there. Of course, there just has to be a freaking, yep, there it is. There just has to be a bloody hair on there every time. Okay. All right, I think we're happy with that. And we're moving on. Next we'll be doing yellow. And moving on to the yellow one. Okay, and now we're getting the yellow on there. And once again, I'm doing a heavier coat because I don't want to have to do 2 coats. And now we have yellow smoke. Moving on, we're going on to green. All these gel glazes I had gotten off of AliExpress. Now I've had them for a few years now. I imagine you probably, if you search for them, you might be able to find them. If not, as I said, you can use jelly polishes or you can make your own. And now we have green smoke on that one. And moving on, now we have blue. The reason I'm going in with the different colored ones is because of the stickers I had. They came in all the different colors and they were too pretty not to use all of them, so I just had to do it. And lastly, on the pinky, we have purple. Now, I really wanted the purple to be on a bigger nail because that's my favorite color, but I did not have the stickers. By the time you get down to the purple size, and you'll see the sticker sheet, they're starting to get a lot smaller, so that wouldn't have worked very well on the thumb. But now we have some purple smoke. And here we are all ready to be cured, and there we got the different colored smoke now. And in we're going to go to cure. Okay, see, here's the sticker sheet. You see how they start getting smaller and smaller, and they kind of go at an angle with the color across too. There was only one red one, which I didn't realize at the time, so on one hand the sticker is going to be kind of orange because I only had the one red. Now see how that's sliding around? I totally forgot that these gel glazes cure with a pretty hefty tacky layer or dispersion layer. So the sticker, I forgot they did that, so I didn't clean them off. But as you can see, I can slide the sticker around, which you shouldn't be able to do. But now that I've got it where I want it, that one is going to be what it is now, because I'm not taking that back off just to clean it. But the rest of these, before I do any more, we're going to clean off the tacky layer. And once I'm done fooling around with this one, okay, the rest of these now I'm going to just get a wipe, a lint-free wipe and some alcohol, and we're going to clean off the tacky layer before I do any more stickers on here. But as you can see in the background, the stickers, the color goes at an angle across from one corner to the other. So by the time you get down there to the blue and the purple leaves, they're much smaller than the red, yellow, green ones are. Which is why, as I said, I didn't do purple on the thumb, which is what I really wanted to do. And lastly, okay, now we're ready to move on. Okay, and we're just putting the color sticker on that matches the smoke now. So that's pretty self-explanatory, I think. I wanted these to be kind of near the bottom or the free edge, so the colored smoke is coming out from like in back of where they are. Now these are not going to slide around at all now, so you really want to get them where you want them to be. That one is just slightly crooked, I think, but I didn't want to risk taking it back off. And there's another hair. Oh, these hairs are going to be the death of me. Yeah, see, I was trying to slide that one down. There's no dice. It is not moving. Okay, next. Moving on to green. These stickers don't read real well on camera. They have to catch the light just in the right way for you to really see them, as they have like a metallic kind of finish on them. And we'll just get them where we want, and then I like the way the blue smoke one came out. That turned out looking kind of cool, if I do say so myself. Okay, moving on to the pinky. And also, obviously, as you can see, I'm getting smaller and smaller ones that suit the size of the nail. Okay, there we go. And next, there we are so far. You see what I'm saying about those stickers? You have to get the light just right in the right way to see them real good. But there we are. And now we're going to do the old file and buff routine here. First, we're going to go in with a hefty layer of base. Now, the only reason I'm doing this is because when I was doing the smoky, after I did the smoky part, I noticed that there were some parts on the side edges that were much thicker than others because of I'm going to call it marble part of the smoke, the smoky part that was like marble. It's thicker than the rest of it, so it was creating some like valleys and peaks that I wasn't real crazy about. Like one of the nails, I forget which one, had like a goiter on the side of stuff where it was sticking out that I had noticed until after it was cured. So that is why I'm going to have to do the old file and buff trick. All right, those are going to get cured as soon as I'm happy with this base. And bam, we're back. Now we're moving on to the top coat. I'm putting the tempered top coat on. I'm going to do a pretty hefty layer of that on here. FYI, this is the other rack now that you're seeing, because I think I forgot to hit record when I did this part on the other side, on the other ones. And also, this will help a lot more to keep the stickers in there really well. I'm kind of, what do I want to say, gun shy? That's not really the word, but I'm kind of leery with the stickers now, since I had those ones bubble up and come off of my winter set. I'm doing heavier and maybe more than one top coats on these things now, so I want to make sure none of these stickers are going to be coming off. I know if I bought a set of nails that had stickers and they started coming off, I would be furious. Okay, anyway, we're back. That was cured. Now we're on to the file and buff part. I'm just going to show you on the thumb, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Mainly, I'm doing mostly just on the side edges, because that's where the problems seem to be. And then I'll just do a real quick buff over the whole thing just to smooth it all out. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm trying to avoid buffing very much over where the sticker is, because I don't want to take a chance of filing through any of it. Now right at the tip of this one, there was like the stuff had accumulated, the polish, the top coat or whatever. Something had accumulated a lot right there and had made a big bump. So I'm just taking a lot of that down. So it's going to look ugly right now, but once it's top coated again, you won't see that and it'll look fine. Because it looks like there's a chip out of that corner now, but there really isn't. Okay, and just a quick buff over this part. My buffer is a 180 grit, double-sided, so I switched back and forth on the sides to whichever one I deemed necessary for that nail. Okay, I'll do the rest of those off camera. And we are back in the home stretch here with the final top coat. This is just going to be a regular top. You don't need to make it extra thick, but so to avoid a lot of bulk, but just get it on there, make them nice and shiny again. And this also, it looks like some of the smoke is gone when they're buffed like that, but once you top coat, you'll see how it comes right back up. And also, if you notice that corner of that one down there, it's all smoothed off, looks perfectly fine now. And moving on. I think there was a hair or something. Something was going on there. Okay. Gee whiz, sometimes I don't realize how many times I go over these things and how long it takes until I'm watching the playback of these and having to voice over. Part of the problem too that's taking a while is because my bottle of top coat needed to be refilled. I was down to the last bit, so every time I was having to manipulate it around so I could actually get top coat on my brush. Okay. After I cap the ends with it, I like to go over the whole nail again because sometimes when I cap the end, a little blob of the polish gets shoved up onto the front of the nail, and then you end up with a little hump right near the free edge that I don't like. That tends to happen on my own personal nails when I'm doing them a lot more than it usually does on the press-ons, but occasionally I get that on the press-ons and I have to kind of try and fix that. All right, lastly, the purple little guy. And there we go. Now we're going to cure those and then we're done. And there we are, all finished. So you'll see the one red one has the orange one on there because, as I said, I only had one red sticker. But anyway, if you liked them, please give me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more, I upload a new video every Saturday. I hope to see you guys here next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.